Hi there, and welcome to Day 7 of the 2019 Christmas Bonanza. 8 videos in 8 days, starting on Christmas Day and ending on New Year's Day. So for Day 7, we've got a beautiful Lionel 3-rail O-scale Norfolk & Western SD45 in a beautiful bicentennial paint scheme, and we're going to check it out today on Eric's Trains. Alright, well hey, what am I doing in my truck all of a sudden? Well, I've got some errands to run today, and so I'm kind of pressed for time, and so I thought I would save a little time and film this first section of the video in my truck, because it really has nothing to do with the SD45 that you're about to see. I have an announcement. Now, I dropped an Easter egg about this announcement in yesterday's video in Day 6, and those of you who watched the entire video yesterday already know about this. But tomorrow on Day 8, I'm going to be doing a live Q&A on YouTube. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern, and basically I'll start off by showing you some of the progress on the layout. I've got some new buildings and so forth. Then I'll take some of your questions for a little bit, and then at the end I'll run a train or two around the layout. So it should be fun, and it'll probably last about an hour. Now, anytime I do a live video, or say I'm going to do a live video, I inevitably get hammered with messages from people requesting me to run certain engines and certain trains. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to have time to do that. I wish I could do that, but there's just not enough time. It takes a good bit of time to get an engine out and set up the train and so forth, and I just don't have the time. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to honor those requests. So save yourself the keystrokes on the keyboard and the time of sending me a message, because if it's a message about what you want to see me run during tomorrow's Q&A, I'm not going to be able to honor that request. It's just that simple, because I just don't have the time. So I've already picked the trains I'm going to run tomorrow, and so you'll just have to make do with that. So anyway, that's what I wanted to announce. Live show, live Q&A tomorrow. Again, that's going to be tomorrow, New Year's Day, at 1 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. And the way you can get notified about the live show is simply to be a subscriber. That's all there is to it. Or just tune into the channel at 1 p.m. Eastern. Anyway, let's get back to the Lionel SD45. So the story of me doing a video on this engine is a little funny. I could have sworn I had already done a video on this engine earlier this year. But then I checked, and it turned out I hadn't. And so then I did some more research, and I figured out that the reason I thought I had done a video on it was because I had written a review on this engine for OGR magazine earlier this year. And so that, in my mind, got me thinking that I had done a video on it as well. But then I also remembered that one reason I sort of delayed doing a video on it was because when I was running the engine earlier this year, I ran it into another engine. I had a little train accident. And when that happened, it broke off one of the MU hoses, and it broke one of the stanchions on the coupler cut bar. I was able to fix the coupler cut bar, but I still need to order some replacement MU hoses for the Pilot from Lionel, and I haven't done that yet, but I decided to show it to you anyway because it's just one MU hose that's missing. It's not the end of the world. And this is a really nice engine, so I'm glad I'm finally getting a chance to show this to you. So the SD45 is a 6-axle road switcher diesel-electric locomotive built by General Motors Electromotive Division between 1965 and 1971. It has an EMD 645 E3 20-cylinder engine that generates 3,600 horsepower. 1,260 SD45s were built before the SD45-2 replaced it in 1972. Today, most SD45s have been retired, scrapped, or rebuilt to SD40-2 standards. Now, the engine that you're seeing here does have a real-life counterpart. NNW 1776 was built in 1970 and was originally painted NNW blue. In 1974, as the nation prepared for the coming bicentennial in 1976, NNW 1776 received its patriotic paint scheme. That paint scheme lasted until 1978, when the engine was repainted to NNW black. The locomotive remained in service until 1988, and then in 1991 it was donated to the Virginia Museum of Transportation, where it resides today. When the locomotive came to the museum, it was given back its patriotic paint scheme, but over the years it began to fade badly, and so in 2011 a fundraising campaign was able to raise enough money for a cosmetic restoration of 1776, which of course included a new paint job. Lionel's rendition of the SD45 that we have here was offered in their 2018 Volume 1 catalog, and I believe these things shipped in late 2018 if I'm not mistaken. Now the length of the model is right at 17 inches, the weight is 5 pounds 3 ounces, it has 2 pounds 12 ounces of pulling power, and the minimum curve needed to operate this engine is 0.54. Feature-wise, this engine is driven by 2 vertically mounted motors, one above each truck. There's an operating electrocoupler at each end of the engine, and those couplers can be fired from your Legacy or TMCC remote or from the Lion Chief app on your smartphone or tablet. There's a fan-driven smoke unit for the smokestack. The engine features all LED lighting, and then you've got Legacy Command and Legacy Rail sounds as well as Bluetooth on board. When it comes time to run the engine, the preferred method of course is going to be to use Lionel's Legacy Command system, as that will give you access to all of the engine's advanced features and functions. However, you can also run this engine with Lionel's classic TMCC command system. You can run it with the Lionel Lion Chief app on your smartphone or tablet, thanks to the Bluetooth connectivity, and you can also run it conventionally with just a transformer and some track. The last thing I want to tell you before we start this thing up is that with the engine sitting on the track right now, this is actually the front of the engine. I know it looks like this would be the front down here, but it's not. And actually the crew figures in the cab are facing this direction. And that's because the N&W used to like to run a lot of their diesels long hood forward for safety reasons. And so when this thing starts up, it's going to move in this direction, just FYI. Okay, let's go ahead and start it up.
This is the dispatcher. Do you copy? Copy that, dispatcher. Over. Okay, start her up. Stand by for track orders. Roger that. Out.
Okay, here's the horn. And here's the bell. Here's a sampling of the crew talk sounds.
Dispatcher, my fuel down about empty. Is it okay to pull? Over. Roger, your track is clear. Dispatcher over. Acknowledged. I got 3. Out. Dispatcher here. You're clear to pull. Over. Understood. Out.
And here's a sampling of the various RPM levels. It's really cooking now. All right, let's go ahead and move it out. right, that about wraps it up for day 7. I hope you enjoyed it. This is a beautiful engine. If you're interested in purchasing one, the original retail price was right at $600, but if you go through a good Lionel dealer, chances are you'll be able to get a bit of a discount off that retail price. Now, this was released last year, so it may be a little challenging to find compared to something brand new, but if you persist, you should be able to find one. And as always, if you're looking for a good Lionel dealer, you can try my favorite train store, which is Legacy Station. You can find them on the web at www.legacystation.com or give them a call at 770-339-7780. Anyway, if you'd like to support Eric's Trains, I would greatly appreciate it. You can do that through Patreon at www.patreon.com/ericstrains. And if you'd like to buy an Eric's Trains t-shirt or any other merch I might be selling, check out the Eric's Trains online store at www.ericstrains.com/store. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm Eric Siegel, and I'll see you tomorrow for the live Q&A on Eric's Trains for Day 8.